Hello and welcome to a very different type of video for today. So today is going to be a more casual video than usual. I mean, you know it's casual when I have like the Persona music in the background, you have Elgato game capture footage on screen, and I'm also not working with a script right now, so yeah, it doesn't get any more casual than this. The title of this video is absolutely not clickbait. I definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, predicted Nintendo's future, and I am very happy and I am very proud of it, and today I am going to be showing you what I mean when I say that I predicted Nintendo's future. So nearly a year ago now, I published a video called 75 Nintendo Predictions. It's a video that's self-explanatory really. It's just a video where I sit down and talk about 75 different types of Nintendo predictions. Usually these are game announcements, product releases, and just rough estimate like year windows of when things will happen. Like, oh, in 2035 Shigeru Miyamoto will eat a hot dog and post it on Twitter or something like that. If you want to watch the video for yourself, I'll have a link in the description, and I'll also have it as one of the end cards at the very end of this video. Though just a fair warning, it is one of my earlier videos, so I was not that comfortable with my voice in front of a microphone as opposed to now where I'm a lot more comfortable. And this was back when I was using a USB microphone, a very cruddy old USB microphone, as opposed to now, which is a lot more higher fidelity. So I kind of sounded awful in that video too. I sounded a bit muffled. The video is still perfectly watchable. It's just that the audio from my voice is a lot less higher quality than it is now. But if you still want to watch that video and watch my 75 different Nintendo predictions, video below and video at the end of this video. Well, even though that video isn't even a full year old yet, I can happily and definitively tell you that 3 of those 75 predictions that I made have already been proven to be correct. Thus, I have predicted Nintendo's future. So let me show you those 3 predictions, starting with the first correct prediction, which was prediction number 10 in my original video. So yeah, here is my first correct prediction. Nintendo will release a pink variant of the Joy-Cons and will be more of a pastel pink rather than the neon pink that they already offer. So one prediction that I knew I had to include in that video was to try to guess which new color Nintendo will introduce for the Joy-Cons. And back then I predicted pastel pink because I just really wanted a pastel pink Joy-Con set, just because I really like pastel pink. It's a very nice color, and have you ever seen pastel pink? It's a very nice color. Well, only a day ago, as of the recording of this video, Nintendo announced a new line of Joy-Cons, this time being a pastel color line of Joy-Cons, and one of the colors that they brought to this set is pastel pink. Now I have to include an asterisk on that prediction being correct because technically I predicted that Nintendo was going to release a set of Joy-Cons that are pastel pink, basically both of the Joy-Cons being pastel pink, but the release that we actually got, the set of Joy-Cons are not both pastel pink, only one of the Joy-Cons is pastel pink. But you know what, we're still gonna count that as a dub anyways. I mean, technically I didn't get that correct or entirely correct, but you know what, we're still taking it as a dub nevertheless. Now we move on to prediction number 14 from my original video. This is one that I mostly just included as a little throwaway prediction, like a little funny, haha, can you imagine what if sort of thing. But it ended up being true, and it's like really funny because it's something that honestly I did not want it to happen, but you know what, it still ended up happening. So yeah, here is prediction number 14 from that original predictions video. Pac-Man 99 will be removed from the Nintendo Switch Online service sometime in the future before the service's closure. I only just realized how awkwardly worded that prediction was, so what I wanted to say was that I predicted that Pac-Man 99 will shut down before Nintendo Switch Online as a service will shut down. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. I believe it was like a couple of weeks ago now, but it was announced that Pac-Man 99 will shut down, I think in October if I recall correctly. I saw a Wario 64 post saying that like Pac-Man 99 will shut down, and yep, this is just a prediction that I just flat out predicted correctly. It's honestly a huge shame that Pac-Man 99 will shut down because, well, it's an online focused game. I don't even think it has like an offline mode like at least with Tetris 99 does. I believe Pac-Man 99 will just shut down and you're just not going to be able to play the game anymore, which is really unfortunate. But at the same time, I did make a prediction that it will shut down, and I did get that correct, so sometimes you just gotta take the good with the bad. So yeah, Yet another dub for me. And finally, we move on to the third and final correct prediction, and it was prediction number 68 on my original video. Only one number off from the funny number. Anyways, here is a clip of what prediction number 68 was.
1-2-Switch will randomly get a sequel around the late end of the Switch's life.
So my reason for predicting that 1-2-Switch will just randomly get a sequel is because I thought of the twilight years of the Wii. One of those games that Nintendo released during the twilight years of the Wii was Wii Play Motion, which was a sequel to a Wii launch title that literally nobody was asking for. Wii Play Motion may be one of the most forgettable games Nintendo has ever put out. It's not even anything remotely good or even remotely bad. It was just something that, you know, felt like Nintendo just released and just, you know, never thought of again. And something in my gut was telling me that Nintendo was going to repeat history, that they're going to give a Nintendo Switch launch title a sequel that literally nobody was asking for. And the one game that immediately came to my mind when it came to a Nintendo Switch launch title that nobody was asking a sequel for was 1-2-Switch. And would you look at that, I was pretty much right on the dot with that one. Yesterday, alongside the announcement of the Pastel Joy-Con, Nintendo just shadow dropped a sequel to 1-2-Switch called Everybody 1-2-Switch. We don't know much about this game right now. We don't even have any gameplay footage of it. It was only this screenshot and I believe the option to order it via Nintendo's website, but it seems to be more or less the same thing as the original 1-2-Switch, except it looks like you're going to be able to connect your phone to the game and use it like a Joy-Con. It reminds me a lot of like the Just Dance games and the Jackbox games, where those are video games that you can connect your phone to play them, so I guess that's kind of cool. Now apparently news of a 1-2-Switch sequel was already out like a month before my predictions video. Apparently it was being worked on behind the scenes and testers really did not like the game, and it turns out that people more or less already knew that there was a 1-2-Switch sequel before I made my predictions video. And I'm sure a few of you are probably going, oh, so you knew that a 1-2-Switch sequel was being made, so you made that prediction with the mindset that it was going to happen because you knew that a 1-2-Switch sequel was being worked on in the background. So you made that prediction with the thought process that it was going to happen and that it was going to be correct. No. In my defense, I had no idea that Nintendo were making a sequel to 1-2-Switch behind the scenes. For whatever reason, this news just completely flew by my radar, and when I was making that 75 Nintendo predictions video, I had no clue that there was already a 1-2-Switch sequel that was being worked on, and apparently nobody was really enjoying behind the scenes. So yeah, Nintendo is making a sequel to 1-2-Switch, which is pretty crazy if you think about it, because nobody really liked that game. I believe it received like mostly mixed reviews. I think it has like a yellow rating on Metacritic if I recall correctly. So it's just a little weird that Nintendo is making a sequel to a game that not a lot of people really enjoyed, and I don't even think it sold that many copies to begin with. Regardless, I am very curious to try this out, especially since behind the scenes the testers really did not like it. Maybe they retuned up the game and now it's all good now. Maybe testers enjoyed this refined version of this 1-2-Switch sequel. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see when I get to play the game. Now, since this video subject matter is already going to be pretty short and it's something that's been bugging the hell out of me, I'm going to sort of rant a little bit about something that's been grinding my gears ever since the announcement of this 1-2-Switch sequel. I have seen people online be unironically upset and salty over the announcement of Everybody 1-2-Switch because they believe that it's taken away Nintendo resources from making the game that they care about wanting them to make. I've especially been seeing this a lot with Mario fans. Basically, a lot of them are saying, oh, so you're not making a Mario Odyssey 2, but you're making a sequel to 1-2-Switch? Gosh, Nintendo, what were you thinking? And I'm just here to say that Nintendo making a sequel to 1-2-Switch probably has little to no effect of them making their next 3D Mario game. Nintendo works with multiple game projects at one time, so I don't understand why people are thinking that, oh, because they're making a sequel to 1-2-Switch, then that means they're not making a sequel to Mario Odyssey or something. I'm sure that they were making this 1-2-Switch sequel at the same time that they were making games like Pikmin 4 and Tears of the Kingdom. And yes, probably even the next 3D Mario game. Besides, I and probably many others can tell that 1-2-Switch was clearly made by a smaller department of Nintendo and looked like it didn't really require that much time and investment to make. And I'm sure that Everybody 1-2-Switch will be the exact same story. Think of the people and resources that it would take to create the next 3D Mario game. Do you really think that Nintendo is sending off those resources to make this 1-2-Switch Switch sequel, I highly doubt that. I think Mario fans are currently just suffering from a massive copium phase right now. They can't comprehend the idea that Nintendo is probably just saving up their resources to make the next 3D Mario game a launch title for their next system, or maybe a year one release for their next system, so they have to find a way to put blame on something that there's a reason that the next 3D Mario game isn't already out yet, so they're putting their blame on an easy target. Nintendo making a sequel to 1-2 Switch is not at all a sign of Nintendo not caring or putting focus onto making the next 3D Mario game, and if you think it is, then you are coping hard, I'm afraid to say. But anyways, yeah, just wanted to toot my own horn there for a bit and talk about how I was able to make 3 correct predictions in a video that's not even a year old yet. I feel pretty proud about that. Anyways, yeah, thank you all for watching.